Everyone, thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Nefertiti, spiritual coach and mind body instructor, and you can find me on the web at onebodywm.com. So today I wanted to talk to you about default affirmations. As empaths, we are sensitive to the thought forms that are floating around in the ethers, whether they're positive or negative. And default affirmations will help you to focus your mind and get out of negative thought loops specifically. So on average, we have about 60,000 thoughts a day. It would be impossible for us to monitor every single thought. That's why we pay attention to the way that we feel, because our thoughts create our feelings, and our emotions are connected to our manifestations. So when you have your default affirmations, these are helpful because it's a way for you to take back control of your thinking. And default affirmations are really simple affirmations. So the ones that I love to use are, I love and approve of myself. I am worthy of receiving my good. All of my needs are met. I am connected to the universal supply of money. I am grateful for all that I have. It is okay for me to have everything I want. These are just examples of some of the ones that I use. And the way you use your default affirmations is when you find yourself in a negative thought loop, which requires you to be aware, self-aware, right? Just kind of checking in with yourself every few minutes even. What am I thinking about? What's on my mind? How is this making me feel? Then you make a conscious choice to use your default affirmations to change your thinking. And you might have to repeat these over and over and over again. We think about our problems, I think I read a study, at least 400 times a day. Imagine how your life would change if you were to use your default affirmations at least 400 times a day. And your default affirmations will help you to identify emotions that are not yours. And you can release them a lot easier, right? Especially if they're not yours. They're really easy to release unless you've thought about them over and over again and they've started to maybe solidify as a belief. And when you use your default affirmations, you will also get ideas about how to make changes in your life. These changes often imply initially more spiritual devotion because the inner creates the outer. So when you get these inspired ideas after using your default affirmations, act on them, even if they seem silly or a little disconnected from what it is that you want. Act on them, because remember that we only get the first step or the next few steps on our journey. We can visualize the bigger picture, we'll get glimpses of it, but as far as the practical aspects go of achieving these changes, of making these changes, we usually only get one step or maybe 2 steps or 3 steps. And your default affirmations can help you to practice more self-awareness, because as you are using them, especially if you're trying to get rid of negative thinking, all of that negative thought process or anything connected to those negative thoughts will come up to your awareness for release because they're not in alignment with your default affirmations. So it's also a good way to recognize any limitations that you have placed on yourself, or maybe you've allowed to be placed on you by others. And default affirmations are also good for helping you to build more trust in yourself, because the manifestation process requires faith and trust. That's a major part of it. And one of the things I've noticed with myself and with my clients in using default affirmations and saying that they don't work, or just saying that affirmations don't work in general, is inconsistency. You have to use your default affirmations over and over and over and over again. Being consistent. You can't just use them and then, get lazy and allow those negative thoughts to come back in. And now you're like, oh shit, all of this crazy stuff starting to happen and I'm feeling down, I'm feeling sad. You've got to keep doing it. You've got to keep doing it. When I talk to my clients, 95% of the time, whether I'm working with a yoga client or a spiritual coaching client, they'll say, oh, something doesn't work. And I ask them, have you been consistent? And when I say consistent, I mean using a method for more than 30 days. Because this whole 21 days to create a habit, that's not the whole truth. It takes 21 days for you to get used to the idea of creating a new habit. But actually solidifying a habit, and this includes your thinking, takes about 90 days, because that's when you'll start to see the actual physical manifestation of your thinking that you have been utilizing. Your affirmations, the utilization of those affirmations, you'll start to see them come together in physical form. And that'll be more inspiring for you. But you have to be consistent. Okay? So create your default affirmations, commit them to memory, and use them over and over and over and over again. Okay? I like to call this mental resistance training. So just like you would go into the gym and lift weights and stay consistent week after week, month after month, year after year, building your body, it's the same thing with your mind. Okay? So crystals that will help you with clarity in your thinking and using your affirmations. One of my favorites is blue lace agate. It's very good for solidifying affirmations and using with scripting as well. Any of the blue crystals really, but I especially like blue lace agate and turquoise. These are both great crystals for communication and making changes and adjustments in your life. These crystals will also help you to allow these changes to be gentle and methodical, right? Sometimes we need those sudden jolts, but if you're making a conscious effort to change your life and you're doing this consistently with your default affirmations, with your thinking, it can be a softer process, a gentler process, if you believe that. Right? So thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I look forward to speaking to you again really soon. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.